Leaders at the moment: Paul Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks at first base, Dee Gordon of the Marlins at second base, Johnny Peralta of the Cardinals at short, and Matt Carpenter, the third baseman for the Cardinals. Buster Posey, leading vote getter behind the plate. And the top three outfielders are Bryce Harper, Giancarlo Stanton, now hitting the disabled list, and Matt Holliday, who is also on the DL, as is Norichika Aoki. He's the number 4 getter, so I guess it would be Andrew McCutchen and then Jock Peterson among the regulars that are healthy in the outfield in the National League balloting. Of course, that's closing soon, so get your votes in at MLB.com and Brewers.com as well. Phillies also making a move today in their front office, hiring Andy McPhail to succeed Pat Gillick as the president of the club following Gillick's retirement at the end of this season. And McPhail will oversee all the baseball operations for the Phillies. At the season's end, he'll take the reins. And looking around baseball for tonight, as we get started here in the early part of the schedule, a brief schedule around baseball tonight as well. And in American League ballparks, Texas is at Baltimore, as Bud Norris will get the nod for the Orioles tonight. Red Sox are in Toronto, and Cleveland is at Tampa Bay. Jason Kipnis' hitting streak ended yesterday, so I have to try to start a new one against Nathan Carnes and company. Twins are taking on the Reds tonight, as Mike Leake will go for Cincinnati, and the rest of the action is later. 4 other games. The Royals are in Houston. Joe Blanton against Lance McCullers Jr. The Dodgers are at the Diamondbacks. Mike Bolsinger, a former Diamondback, goes for the Dodgers. And the Rockies are at the A's. Kendall Graveman looks for win number 5. The Angels hosting the Yankees. CC Sabathia against C.J. Wilson. A couple of lefties there. And Quick Trip's no fee ATM, because $20 shouldn't cost you $21.50. Another fresh idea, another way to save, only at Quick Trip. Tonight it's the Brewers and the Phillies. And once again with you on the call, here's Bob Uecker.
All right, Joe, thank you very much. And this broadcast once again is authorized by the Milwaukee Brewers Baseball Club, intended solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast or other use without the express written consent of the Milwaukee Brewers Baseball Club is prohibited. 5-5-5. Our program continues. Brewers score 5. You get 5 burgers for $5 until midnight tomorrow at all George Webb restaurants. And here we go. Sean and Bigorra. Sean O'Sullivan working tonight for Philadelphia. Gerardo Parra is going to lead things off for the Crew. And here is the opening pitch in Game 1, and Parra sends it up along first, but foul. One strike on Gerardo. Working from the windup, O'Sullivan rocks back. Here he comes again, and Parra sends that one into right center and fairly deep back on the warning track. About a step is Revere to haul that one down. One away, here comes Jonathan Lucroy. 80 degrees at game time tonight. Field and game conditions are presented by Calypso Lemonade, tailgates, campfires, barbecues, forest fires. Ice cold Calypso Lemonade, always a hit. You bet, with the fire department. 14 flavors. There's a taste of the islands for everyone. Find your favorite Calypso Lemonade at your local grocer. Here's the pitch. It is a strike on Lucroy. Just joking. No panicking. One strike. Crowd tonight a little sparse as of yet here in Philadelphia. The Phillies, as Joe mentioned a moment ago, swinging a drive to the gap in right center. This is going to get in there, and it is cut off by Dominic Brown, holding Lucroy to a long single. The Phillies making major changes, and Fan base here in Philadelphia is extremely strong, and fans in attendance were screaming for change here, and that's really the big reason why. And it's time, and it's another one of those cases where Philadelphia is locked into long-term deals with some of these players, and tough to make trades and deals for people like that. But the new leadership under Andy McPhail, Ryan Braun took one down low and inside. They're going to try, and it's the right thing. 1-0 on Ryan Braun. 15 home runs for him. He hit number 15 in that win against Minnesota in the final game. 49 runs about it in for him. Lucroy leads at first and draws a throw, and he's back with a head-first slide. 1 ball, no strikes on Ryan Braun. The stretch, the pitch. That one drops a little low and off the outside. 2-0 on Braun. The Phillies starting action tonight. 15 1/2 behind the front-running Washington Nationals, who they gained a split with on Sunday. Nationals won the opener. Phillies came back and won the nightcap. O'Sullivan again to first, and back in time is Lucroy. O'Sullivan at 1-5 on the year, and he carries an earned run average of over 5. 2 balls, no strikes. New sign, Lucroy leads, and the pitch. That is a strike on Ryan Braun, right at the knees. It's 2-1. 60-plus innings for O'Sullivan, 74 hits, giving up 14 home runs on the year, walked 17 and struck out 29. Howard holds to Lucroy at first, the pitch. Ryan Braun chased one high and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. O'Sullivan is not a hard thrower. A lot of breaking stuff from this guy. Slider, a little bit of a slurve, or half of a curveball, if you will. 2-2 on Braun with 1 out. He's ready to work. Long look, Lucroy. Now the pitch. Braun strikes out swinging. 2-men are out now. That is strikeout number 30 for the right-hander. Here comes Adam Lind. His home run, the winner in that finale against the Twins. 11th of the year for him. 39 runs batted in. Adam Lind's average is now at .291. 2-men are out, runner aboard. Opening inning here at Citizens Bank Park. Boy, what a beautiful night. Not a cloud in the sky here in Philadelphia, or the area surrounding. Strike right down the middle, and it's 0-1. A little breezy today, but right now, nothing. 1 strike on Adam Lind. The right-hander is running. And here it is. That one's hit foul to our left. 2 strikes and nothing on him. Now with a change in the upper echelon here in Philadelphia, wondering whether Ruben Amaro Jr. is going to be retained as the general manager. A lot of fans in Philadelphia are looking for Amaro to leave too, with other changes. Interim skipper Pete Makinen. The pitch, high and inside, ball 1 and strike 2. Makinen is working on a 4-day contract right now. He'll manage this series against the Crew. He did pick up a win last night But McPhail says we'll determine, swinging a fly ball to right, we'll determine Makinen's future as a manager following this series. And I don't know, I guess somebody says you're here for 4 days. That doesn't mean you're leaving as a coach. But who knows? Maybe he'll hang on and finish the season as the skipper. One ball, two strikes. Talked to Pete Makinen before the game tonight. He said he's not worried at all. He accepted the job on behalf of the Phillies. Throw to first. Lucroy is back. And on behalf of the team. But if indeed his tenure would be up, not a bother at all for Mac. One ball, two strikes. Former Brewer Bob McClure is the pitching coach here. Adam Lind waiting to pitch. Swinging a fly ball into the gap in right center, and this one's going to get off the wall out there. Dominic Brown runs it down. Lucroy around third. He is going to score standing, and Adam Lind comes through again. Big two-out double for him. That one hit the base of the wall out in deepest right center before Dominic Brown could get to it. Ben Revere was not in the area. And it's a double for Adam Lind, and another RBI, his 40th of the year. And another $50 for the Mac Fund, courtesy of West Bend, the Silver Lining. All right, runner at second, and here comes Carlos Gomez. Tell you, Adam Lind takes such an easy swing, and the ball really jumps. At the contact point, Carlos Gomez sends one in the air to left, not deep, backpedaling. It's Galvis, and he's got it. 2 in the inning. Big swing by Carlos, and he popped it up. But Adam Lind, I don't know what it is. His bat speed, at contact point, he's right on it, and the ball really does jump. Anyway, the Brewers get a run on a couple of base hits. And they leave one stranded. 1/2 complete. Brewers 1. Phillies coming up.
Hey, John Mercure here. Names. The trend is.
Nelson has a 1-0 lead as he faces Philadelphia in the bottom half of inning number 1. Ben Revere, the center fielder, will lead things off, I should say. Cesar Hernandez. Big night last night for him. Follows, and then Michael Franco. All right, Jimmy Nelson facing Philadelphia for the first time ever. Here is his opening pitch tonight, and Revere took one too low, ball 1. Potawatomi Hotel and Casino pays big 21 contestant tonight. Frankie Ross from Waukesha. Here it is. That one is right in there, and it's even now at a ball and a strike. $5,000 from Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Firekeepers Club members pick up an extra $5,000 in reward play. Get complete details at wisportscontest.com. Revere came up empty. Big swing and a miss. One ball, two strikes on him. Revere at 289 with a home run and 19 driven in. Here comes Nelson, and he dropped a bender down low and inside. It's 2-2 now. Downtown Philadelphia, out to our left here. Clear as a bell. You can see people walking around their hotel room. What a beautiful night. And the pitch. Revere lines one fair into the left field corner. This is going to be an extra base hit for Revere. He's going into second base with a sliding double in Philadelphia with a tying run at second. And here comes Cesar Hernandez. Hernandez with a 4-hit night in that finale against Washington. Second game of the doubleheader. Upped his average to 271. He has a home run and 15 driven in. Revere at second, and now Nelson steps off. Here's the pitch. Showing bunt. It's a good one. Lucroy is going to have to hurry, and he threw it past Adam Lind, and this game is going to be tied. Ben Revere scores, and I think that's going to be scored a base hit. Lucroy got out and on that ball in a hurry, but Hernandez, I think, outran the throw anyway. Craig Counsell is going to come out now and check with the home plate umpire. It's Mark Carlson to see if the runner was inside that line to first base. And Adam Lind now is pointing inside the line. If you're a baseball follower and you come to the ballpark and you watch the games and you see that box that runs halfway down the line to first base, that is for the runner. You've got to stay inside that line, inside that box area, to give a catcher or a pitcher a chance to throw and throw you out. And if indeed you come inside that line, and it could be an interference call, but evidently everything's okay here. Hernandez leads and draws a throw, and he's back in time. Franco in there at 304 with 10 home runs and 32 driven in. So they've scored it as a base hit, which is the good call. And an error is going to be charged. Throw to first, runners back. An error will be charged to Lucroy, allowing the run to score. One apiece here in the opening inning. And the pitch. That's a strike. Phillies 27-50 starting tonight's game. Brewers are at 29-48. Brewers trail by 23 in the Central. Cardinals keep on running. And the throw to second base on a steal attempt. Hernandez is in there. Stolen base. Cardinals just keep on running. Machine is running smoothly in St. Louis. Did I see something today, Joe, about Adam Wainwright possibly coming back?
I didn't see that. Oh, boy, that would be surprising.
I thought I saw a blurb about that, about Wainwright possibly coming back. Franco waiting. Jimmy Nelson on the pitch. Down low and blocked by Lucroy. It's ball one and strike two now. Phillies third baseman. 10 home runs. 32 driven in. Ryan Howard, who is the leader in home runs, with 13. Coming up next. Yeah, that would be a huge bonus for St. Louis. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the pitch. That gets by Lucroy, and on the third goes Hernandez. Rocky opening inning here for Jimmy Nelson and the crew. That's going to be a wild pitch, I believe. Lucroy should have caught that ball, though. Should have blocked it. It was a short hop, little breaking ball that he tried to backhand and never did really get down on it. Wait for the official scoring. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And it is a wild pitch. The pitch, bouncer to third, and Perez has that and will throw in plenty of time for Franco. Hernandez stays at third, and here comes Ryan Howard. Did he say wild pitch? I thought he did. Here's Ryan Howard batting .229. Brewers tonight have Parra, Gomez, and Braun in the outfield left to right. Perez, Segura, Jeanette and Lynn third to first. Lucroy doing the catching, and here's Ryan Howard. And a pitch by Jimmy. That one dropped low, and it's ball one. Here's one of the guys that the Phillies have been talking about for a long time as to the contract and a deal to eliminate huge salary problems. Down low, 2-0. It would be Ryan Howard. John Papelbon, another. There's a few others. Chase Utley, who's not playing now. 2 balls, no strikes. And the pitch. Howard, a swing and a miss, off speed. It's 2-1. I guess when you go through a period like the Phillies in a year in the last 2-3 years with Philadelphia, I mean, trying to unload some of the contracts is a major problem, swing and a miss. And that, when I watch Ryan Howard here, Joe, I mean, he's not even close to what he was. And not to say that every once in a while he's not going to pop one on you, but he just doesn't look like the same hitter.
Yeah, that average has been sinking the last few years.
2-2. Swing and a foul. Got a piece of a breaking ball that time, and it holds at 2-2. Ryan Howard was a major happening in Philadelphia through those first few years, and then that huge contract. I mean, a major home run hitter and a feared hitter, one of the most feared in all of baseball. But over the last few years, it hasn't been the same for Ryan Howard. 2-2, here it is. Swing and a pop fly foul, and this one's going to make the seats behind the Brewers dugout. 2 on him, only 1 out.
Well, Howard is still signed through next season.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
5-year deal.
The guy that really is a thorn here, not so much with the team. Although swing and a miss, and he struck him out. Foul tip, and Howard is gone. The guy is that really has drawn the ire of Philadelphia fans is Jonathan Papelbon. Not so much for his pitching actions, but for things that he has said about the Phillies and the fans, and how the fans are bad here and he can't stand them. And he doesn't care what he says because each and every time he comes into a game, I mean, they say some awful things about Papelbon. And the pitch, big swing and a foul. Dominic Brown, batting .200. Here's another guy, Joe, that, his power totals are way down. Average is way down. He was a left fielder here a couple of years ago and had an unbelievable year. Home runs. I don't know. I think the first time the Brewers saw this guy last year here in Philadelphia, or 2 years ago. And a balk is going to be called on Jimmy Nelson. He was into his windup and all set to deliver, and he stumbled and held the ball, and it's a balk. All right, get it all done here. Here's the 0-1 delivery, and this one is lined softly to left center. Well, they said the Phillies, following their 3-2 loss to Washington in the opening game of the doubleheader yesterday, came back with a vengeance. A lot of singles, but they won the game. And if indeed it's taking the departure of Ryan Sandberg, who left the team, and the new upstairs action, Andy McPhail coming in here to take over the reins, who knows? It'll be the same players for the most part. Dominic Brown draws a throw, and he's back in time. 2-1 Phillies lead. We're in the opening inning.
Well, the Phillies have scored the lowest amount of runs per game in baseball, but over the last week, they're third best, so they've been scoring lately.
Here's the pitch. That's in there, a strike. Yeah, over the last 7 days, Philadelphia bats have come alive, but you know, it's and when you look at the aggregation that they have here now, Joe, the one guy who you're talking about is, you know, being a big bopper is Ryan Howard, and he's not bopping too much. That guy at first base, Dominic Brown, has power, but he's nowhere even close to what he was a couple of years ago.
Hey, he had 23 home runs in the second half of the season.
Yeah. I mean,
alone.
He was unbelievable.
And he hit 2 in AAA before finally getting called up a couple of weeks ago.
The stretch. Here it is. Dominic Brown's running, and this one is hit to left and playable and caught by Parra to finally end the inning. But the Phillies come back and score twice. The second inning is coming up. It's 2-1 Philadelphia.
We'd like to imagine that if you're listening to this,
Sports Central weekdays at 6 on 6. Sports Central weekdays at 6 on 620 WTMJ.
Philadelphia leads 2-1 as the Brewers are on the bat here in the second inning. Sean O'Sullivan trying to win only for the second time this year against 5 losses. Segura, Scooter Gennett, and then Hernan Perez in the second. 2-3-0 for the Phillies. The Brewers have a run, 2 hits, and an error. All right, O'Sullivan set to work. Here's the opening pitch in the Brewers' second, and it's down low and inside, and it's ball 1. Here's the 1-0 offering, and that one's hit in the air in the right, but Dominic Brown has a beat on that one, and Segura is retired. 1 up and 1 down. Here comes Scooter Gennett. Gennett batting .202. Talking about some of these Philadelphia Phillies batting averages, some of the Brewer averages need picking up too, and Scooter Gennett being 1. Taking a strike, and it's 0-1 on him.
Yeah, coming into the season, a career 300 hitter.
Just can't seem to get it going, Joe, and as we watched Gennett swinging a bouncer past Ryan Howard and in the right field. All right, there's a base hit for Scooter. But even during the spring, Joe, he just, I don't know, his bat just didn't look like it had that big pop in it. Not so much home run balls. I'm not talking about that. Just those gap balls that he hit to right center and left center field. I mean, during the spring, it wasn't there. And hopefully, it's a long way to go yet. And, you know, everybody's hoping and thinking, and so is Gennett, that this thing is going to end and he'll start popping, picking up those base hits. It's not going to take all that much to get the average up, but he's got to be playing on a more consistent basis too, and the only way he's going to do that is by hitting. Otherwise, it's going to be other people in there, and he'll be a part-time player. Hernan Perez is in there now. 333 for him. O'Sullivan delivers, and he is on the outside corner. Strike 1 call.
Yeah, for Scooter, I mean, you know, he'd been driving the ball a lot in the last couple of years, his first couple of years in the big leagues, and that's his ticket, is the bat, for sure. But, you know, that time in AAA has helped him a little bit. We're seeing glimpses of it, but not seeing it regularly just yet.
1 strike. O'Sullivan flips one to first, and Gennett is back in time. You know what, Joe? He was the first guy to admit to that, too, when he came back from Colorado Springs. that it was a good thing for him to be sent down and to regroup and realize what it was to be here. And the pitch. Perez sends it in the right. Dominic Brown in the area again, coming in a couple of steps. Takes care of Perez, and now with 2 down, here comes Jimmy Nelson.
Yeah, sometimes you need to take a step back to take a couple of steps forward. And for Scooter Gennett, you get that perspective again. You know, there's not a lot of guys that in a year and a half in the big leagues are hitting 300 for their careers. And so I think maybe he took the success a little bit for granted and realized this is a very tough game.
And the other thing, and talking with Craig Counsell about this a couple of days ago, you know that Gennett is playing all right defensively. And when he's right and playing every day on an everyday basis, he's pretty much covering a lot of ground at second base, and he does the job. Jimmy Nelson taps one back to O'Sullivan, who throws him out easily, and the inning is over. Brewers get nothing on a hit and leave Scooter Gennett stranded. Inning and a half complete from Philadelphia. It is the Phillies 2 and the Brewers 1.
Upgrade your
Ball tonight being brought to you in part by Line and Kugel's Summer Shandy. They make a lot of great beers, but Summer Shandy says summer like no other. It's refreshing Weiss beer with the natural flavor of lemonade. Grab some today. All right, the Phillies are on and send Cody Ashe to lead things off. 7 or more runs in any inning for the Crew is a Menards big inning. That would make Sandy Sullivan, not related to Sean O'Sullivan from Oshkosh, the winner of a $1,000 Menards gift card. Visit any Wisconsin Menards store to enter.
Would she still be eligible if she were related?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, I'm going to talk to Sean O'Sullivan and see if I can work a grand out of him to give to Sandy. And come up with a good story.
Well, he's batting soon, so you better get down
That's
there.
right. He's coming up in the inning. Maybe. Did I say Cody Ashe? This is Cameron Rupp. One ball and no strikes on him. Jimmy Nelson trying to win his fifth, is swinging a foul, and it's even now at a ball and a strike. 244 with 3 home runs and 9 driven in. Phillies lead 2-1 here in the second. Working from the windup, the kick and the pitch. A little low and off the outside corner. Two balls on a strike now. That crowd still coming in. Going to end up with about 25 here tonight. Maybe a few more. Swinging a bouncer off of his foot. Ball 2 and strike 2 now.
Yeah, it's weird because, in past years, this place is almost always a sellout. But you understand, the team isn't doing great.
And they knew it was coming too, Joe. I mean, they as we said, for the last year plus, they've been trying to eliminate some of the money problems, swinging a bouncer foul past Perez to get rid of some of the money problems. But when everybody else is kind of doing the same thing, unless you're on the other side of the coin and you're winning and everything is going well. Ball 2 and strike 2. And the pitch. Down low, and Nelson missing way off the outside corner. Three balls, 2 strikes now. He's been erratic here in the first inning plus. Velocity is not there yet. Breaking ball has not been that sharp. 3-2. Swinging and a foul again up along third. That fastball at 94, it's a little bit better than he was back in the opening inning. But still in that 2-mile-per-hour deficit. He's in that 96. He throws 97 once in a while. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The kick and the pitch. Bouncer hit to short. Gene Segura's got that and throws in plenty of time. There's 1 up and 1 down. One out. Freddie Galvis coming on now. Phillies shortstop. You know, sometimes, Joe, when you watch Jimmy Nelson, when he's on his game, I mean, in watching his delivery, his whole action. Down low, ball 1, and he pitches from in front. But not so much that he's not aggressive all the time, but sometimes he looks like he's aiming the ball. I mean, you know, if they're trying to work somebody to a certain part, down low on the corner on the inside, 1-1 now. He looks like he's trying to aim the ball and really hit a spot on, you know, instead of just, I mean, here it is, try to hit it. Here's my stuff.
And he's got good stuff.
He does. 1-1 offering. That's too high. 2 balls and a strike. And Rick Kranitz talks constantly about Jimmy Nelson and mechanics, you know, to keep that flow going, that, you know, nice easy wind up and pow, let it go. He's a hard worker for sure. The pitch too high again. 3 balls and a strike. Go ahead.
There's no doubt about that. Do you ever think sometimes with a young pitcher can be confidence too? Because
yeah.
I mean, the stuff that he's got, you know, we look up and everybody else sees it, but, you know, he's got to see that too. Mm-hmm. And sometimes he does, and sometimes it's rougher for him.
And the pitch, low and away, he walked him. That's one of the things that I was talking about right there. I mean, he falls behind and then trying to throw something or take a little bit off and hit a corner on somebody instead of a guy like Galvis who's, you know, he's not hitting big time. He's hitting 255. I mean, sometimes you got to get after people and just, you know, here, this is my best stuff. And when we see Nelson and he's really right and the strike zone is locked in and his fastball is big and the breaking ball is big, not that he's one strike after another, but it looks like he's more at ease sometimes. Throw to first base, runners back in plenty of time. That's Freddie Galvis. Sean O'Sullivan, the batter now.
Then at bat to Rupp, you know, he's nibbling on the corners, and then on that 8th pitch of the at bat, he throws one right down the middle as an easy ground out because his 95 sinker is going to play.
And the pitch, big swing and a drive in the right center. Long run Gomez. This one is off the wall out there. In the second goes Sean O'Sullivan with a booming double, putting Freddie Galvis at third. He hit that ball to the 398 marker in deepest right center, right at the Phillies bullpen. Here's Ben Revere with only 1 out. O'Sullivan's first extra base hit. It's only his 2nd base hit on the year, but he got it all.
A couple of years ago when he was in AAA with Tucson, they used him as a pinch hitter.
So he's among the, not in the
major leagues so far, but in the minor leagues he's hit well.
He had a couple of good rimps and winds up with a double. And now Ben Revere, who doubled and scored back in the first. Pitch by Jimmy Nelson, a check swinging a ball down low and inside. He's, they say Revere went around on that one. A strike instead. Tried to check his swing and couldn't do it. 2nd and 3rd with 1 out for Philadelphia. New sign Nelson. They're playing up at 1st and 3rd, and the pitch. Swinging a bouncer foul to the Brewers dugout. 2 strikes now on Ben Revere. Now the infield's coming up. Everybody. 2 strikes and nothing. Yeah, when the Brewers came in here last night, arriving, at a good hour, easy trip, and the talk was, Philadelphia, they're playing badly. We flew in last night, the pitch in tight, about letter high, ball 1 and strike 2 now. We flew in here last night. The lights at Citizens Bank Park were still on. They had just finished or were in the area of completing the game, and, the talk was, hey, here's a chance to, get off to a good start with a road trip here, 4 games. And the pitch, swinging a bouncer off the shin of Nelson, and Perez will pick it up and throw him out. But another run scores. 1-5-3 on that scoring, and that one that nailed Jimmy Nelson. Looked like it got him in the shin. Shin or the ankle? Jonathan Lucroy out there. He's checking to make sure he's okay, and he is. 3-1 Philadelphia now.
Well, you talk about this as being an opportunity. It's the first time all year the Brewers have faced a team with a record lower than theirs, and the Brewers coming off of back-to-back series wins.
It's a trip here, 4 games, then to Cincinnati, and the Reds. You know what? The Reds aren't doing all that well either. There's a strike 0-1. A chance after that series against the Twins, Joe, and talking with Craig Counsell tonight about the good homestand, really good homestand, and he was happy about it. And then coming here to, gain some ground, pick up some wins, swinging a drive to left center. This is going to drop for a base hit, and another run's going to score. Here's the throw coming towards home plate. It is late. O'Sullivan scores on a base hit by Hernandez. That's his second in the game tonight. And it's 4-1 Philadelphia, and Rick Kranitz is out there to talk with Jimmy Nelson. Gerardo Parra got to that ball in a hurry, threw one on the line to home plate, but it was late anyway for O'Sullivan. And the last thing the Brewers needed to kick off this trip was, a starter not going into the 5th, 6th, or 7th inning. That's what Craig Counsell was hoping for. So Rick Kranitz with his quick trip to try and settle down Jimmy Nelson. Franco is in there now, bounced out his first time up. And the pitch to him, he hit that one off his foot. That might be the Brewers' best offense tonight. Let them hit them off their feet where they can't run. And Jimmy Nelson just doesn't look like he's settled in here yet. And it's not out of range by any means. Down by 3 here in the second, but it can't get any bigger. 1 strike, 2 men are out. Nelson a check of Hernandez and the pitch. Swinging a foul again, and it's 2 strikes to nothing.
Strategy working perfectly.
But really, the Brewers were really hoping for a good trip on this one.
Well, if the Brewers can win this series, first time they'll win 3 series in a row since May 23rd to June 1st of last year.
2 strikes. Now the pitch. A check swing, strike, and the inning is over. But the Phillies get 2 more, and at the end of 2 complete, it's 4-1 Philadelphia.
This July.
It's the 3rd. Philadelphia has the lead at 4-1. Get a couple of runs here. Get something going. Top of the order, so's Joe Block.
Well, thank you for calling me top of the order.
You got it.
I appreciate that. I take that as a compliment. Parra, Lucroy, and Braun coming up. And this is the ballpark for it. If you're down a couple runs, bing, bang, boom, right back in it. little bandbox of a park here. Very friendly alleys here. Home run haven, especially when it's warm tonight. A nice warm night, 80 at game time. Gerardo Parra, the lefty batter, to start things against Sean O'Sullivan. And a fastball in there for a strike. This ballpark, 330, well, actually 329 to the left field foul pole, 330 to right, 401 to center. O'Sullivan's 0-1 pitch, and a swing and a high pop up. In the back of the infield, it's Galvis, the shortstop. He'll squeeze it with two hands for the out, one away. And Jonathan Lucroy is coming up. It's a pretty ballpark. You got the blue seats everywhere. A little pavilion out there in center field where you can get a bite to eat. Or drop it on the visiting bullpen.
Yeah, for sure. Or join the visiting bullpen.
Yeah. Hey, bring your rope ladder with you and
Make
just
a couple of bucks.
Yeah. Well, you know, the Phillies have had to use some position players in games, so maybe they'll get some guys from the pizza joint out there. Here's the pitch, and a ball one down low to Lucroy. It's cool how they've got the bullpens stacked. The visitors are on top of the home bullpen down there, kind of a tiered setup down there, but I wonder if they ever interact at all. Here's the 1-0 and a strike over, 1-1.
This is the only one like that. Pittsburgh is back-to-back, right?
Yes.
Brewers in front, Pirates behind, but it's not elevated.
Yeah. They have to walk down the stairs, the Brewers do, to come into the ballgame. Here's the 1-1 from O'Sullivan. And a strike in there, 1-2 on Lucroy. But yeah, they could kind of, there's a flower bed in front of the bullpen, but then if they wanted to flick seeds or something.
Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
He was in a flower bed all the time.
Well, when the Giants are here, the pitch that's inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. But a nice serene setting here. There's a sports complex here where the Phillies play here at Citizens Bank Park. They have Lincoln Financial Field for the Eagles of the NFL. 2-2 rolled up the middle and threw a base hit for Lucroy. He's 2 for 2 tonight. Another single. Stuck his bat out and rolled it through the middle. So a 1 out base hit for the Crew, trailing 4-1 in the third, and Ryan Braun is coming up. There's also the Wells Fargo Center, which is home of the Philadelphia Flyers of the NHL, the hockey team, and the 76ers of the NBA. And I believe there's an arena football team that plays there too. And that's all here on the same complex. Parking is ample and shared. And on the rare nights where there's a game in a couple of different places, you don't have to go anywhere. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a foul. Backing off to the right. Strike 1 to Braun, who struck out his first time. Brewers trail at 4-1. We're in the third. Lincoln Financial Field is an open air football stadium. And here, of course, open air at Citizens Bank Park, and a beautiful backdrop. Very tall scoreboard in left. Kind of stays out of the way of the beautiful downtown. A swing and a liner into right. There's a base hit. Lucroy turns second. He'll head to third. And so Ryan Braun follows Lucroy with a base hit. Brewers have 2 men on. Runners at the corners with 1 out for Adam Lind, who drove in the Brewers' run with a double back in the first. We're in South Philly here. And we can see the downtown to the north. Sun beginning to set here on the East Coast. If I'm not mistaken, it's the Ben Franklin Bridge that takes you to Camden, New Jersey. That's visible just over the center field wall and seats. And there's a hotel right smack dab in between those. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a foul off to the left. Strike one. Let's pause 10 seconds for station ID along the Brewers Radio Network.
The home of the Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. We are Wisconsin's radio station, WTMJ and WTMJ HD, Milwaukee.
It's 8 o'clock here in Philadelphia, 7 o'clock back home. I'm Joe Block along with Bob Euchre, Kent Summerfield, our producer engineer, with you from Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. One of those Pennsylvania cities. We're in Scranton. One strike the count, runners at the corners. Brewers batting in the third. One strike on the lefty, Adam Lind. Sean O'Sullivan, the right-hander, comes set. Peeking over his shoulder at the runner. Braun has a lead in the pitch. It's down low and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Braun with 9 steals. A lot of ballparks have a special feature when the home team hits a home run. Here, the Liberty Bell, replete with the crack in it. A neon sign over the center field wall. That lights up. Toss back over to first, and Braun is back in. 3 decks over in right field, 2 in left. With a cerulean blue seats all the way around. A little bit darker than your average blue. Here's the 1-1 and a swing and a foul tip. O'Sullivan threw him a changeup down and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's a digital scoreboard on the right field wall. Makes the right field wall a little taller. Short wall in center. And a regular size wall in left with a rising wall toward the left of center. Here's the set, the 1-2. Braun running. A swing and a fly ball deep to right center. Revere has a beat on it, though, and he'll make the catch. Plenty deep to score Lucroy from third. Adam Lind with his second RBI tonight on the sac fly to center. And the Brewers now within 4-2. Run batted in 41 for Lind. 4-2 Phillies here in the third, and Carlos Gomez coming up. Braun standing at first with 2 away. Revere caught that one right of center. It's 398 there, but it's 409 to the left of center field. That's the deepest part of this ballpark. Gomez waiting, and instead a toss over to first. And Braun is back in. Not much wind to speak of tonight. Just a very comfortable night. No clouds, no real wind. Another toss over. Braun is back. Philly is clad in the home whites. Philly in right across the front with cornflower blue stars. Saying all the crayons I remember from my childhood. There's a ground ball to short. The force over at second forces Braun. And the inning is through. Brewers pick up a run on 2 hits. Strand a man. We're through 2.5 from Philadelphia. It's 4-2 Phillies.
This is Charlie Sykes. 6.
Bottom of the third inning coming up. 4-2 Philadelphia. Brewers with a run at the top half. Jimmy Nelson back out to face Ryan Howard, Dominic Brown, and Cody Ashe, the middle of the order. Phillies with a couple of runs in both first and second innings against Nelson. And the United Association proud to salute a Wisconsin military veteran during the third inning of every home game at Miller Park. Learn more at UA.org. First one from Nelson. And a wave and a miss, strike 1. Howard struck out his first time. Nelson with a pair of strikeouts. Right-hander into the motion, the 0-1. And a little low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Already on just 2 pitches, looking more aggressive in this inning. Coming right after Howard. Kind of working more quickly. Here's the 1-1. And he missed inside. Tried the changeup there. Kind of guided that ball. 2 balls and a strike. Well, Nelson, there's a big difference for all pitchers, but there's an extreme difference with Jimmy Nelson when he gets ahead of hitters and when he doesn't. Here's the 2-1. And it's up high, 3-1. First couple of pitches came right after him with a sinker. Now, last 2 off-speed pitches. 3 men on the right side of the infield. Jeanette camped out in short right for the lefty batter. 3-1 to Howard. And he missed with a sinker inside, not by much. That's ball 4, a leadoff walk. Second walk issued by Nelson. And now Dominic Brown coming up. But when Nelson is ahead and the batter puts the ball in play, they're hitting 156 against him. And that's 7th best in baseball among starting pitchers. So when he's ahead, he's really good. We saw that in his last start. He gave up 1 run and 2 hits in 8 innings against the Mets. Swinging a foul back, strike 1. Now the Mets aren't an extraordinary hitting team, but he's done that against good hitting teams this year. Tonight facing the Phillies, who are averaging the fewest amount of runs per game in baseball. So you would expect a similar outcome tonight. But he's been getting behind hitters. And so when he gets behind them, they hit him pretty hard. Here's the 0-1. Yeah, that's low. 1 ball, 1 strike. They hit 384 when they put the ball in play. When they're ahead in the count, that's the 5th highest among starters. So he's the 7th lowest average when he's ahead and 5th highest when they're ahead. 2 extremes. Here's the 1-1. Swinging a chop towards second. 2 hops. Jeanette will go on and get the lead out there. Segura covering. Fielded that throw on 1 hop. 4-6. Put out of Howard. Brown reaches first. He's got a better chance to run for the Phillies. She coming up. Let's get some questions in for tonight's U.S. Cellular. Text the booth. Everyone that texts the booth has a chance to win Brewers tickets. All you got to do, start your text with the word brew, B-R-E-W, and then put your question or comment and your first name and where you're from, and then send those along to 82783. 82783 is the 5-digit text number. There goes Brown. Pitches line foul into the seats. Strike 1 to Ashe, who lined out his first time. If you want to know more, you can visit wisportscontests.com. 4-2 Phillies. Philadelphia at the bat here at the bottom of the 3rd. And a toss over to first, and Brown is back. One of the great delights of being at a Phillies game is the Philly fanatic. Mascot, bulbous green alien of some sort. Now the set in the 0-1. Brown running and is swinging a high fly ball deep to right center field. Braun on the warning track. Gomez is there, and Gomez can't get it. He collides and hangs onto the wall. And here comes Brown around to the plate. The throw and the tag. He is out. Brown trying to score. He's thrown out 8-4-2. Gomez to Jeanette to Lucroy on that double by Ashe. Gomez appeared to get hung up in that chain link fence that holds that scoreboard in out there. He's had his hand on it. I think he's okay. I beg your pardon. That was Braun that threw the ball in. So it's 9-4-2. And now Pete McKinnon, who is the interim manager of the Phillies, is going to talk to home plate umpire Mark Carlson. And he does want to challenge this play. So we're going to look at and see whether Dominic Brown scored or not. And so the Phillies issue a replay challenge. That throw came in on a hop from Jeanette, or one hop from short right. And I think Makinen is contending that even though the throw beat him, that Lucroy didn't get a tag on Brown in enough time. Now remember, catchers these days cannot block the plate. Now let's see. Well, I wonder if they're going to. He had his foot in foul ground, and now the rule says that a catcher is allowed to field the throw, but he did set up for that throw slightly inside that line, and they may award Brown. Yep. Yeah, Lucroy got the tag in, so they're challenging whether Lucroy had his foot in front of home plate prior to the throw coming in. Now, if the throw takes you offline and you're set up inside the line, no big deal. And they've confirmed, well, the public address announcer says it's confirmed, and the scoreboard says it stands. So one way or another, Brown is out. Lucroy's foot was over the line, but it wasn't to a point where Brown did not have any path to score. So I like how if you use the literal interpretation of the rule, the runner probably would have been awarded home plate, but common sense tells you no. And so the umpire said the same thing. Phillies out of challenges for the rest of the ball game. Here's Cameron Rupp. He takes inside ball one, so that keeps it at 4-2. And for Ryan Braun, getting his third outfield assist this year. Ashe still at second with 2 away. Rupp bounced out back in the second. Hitless in his last 11. The pitch. And a strike. Got a sinker in there. 1-1. Braun made a nice play on that ball, following Gomez to the ball, and then playing the carom. Here's the 1-1. And could not hold up his swing. He went around on that slider. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nelson trying to get through his first scoreless inning tonight. Getting some help from his friends. Now the set of the 1-2. Swinging a ground ball to third. Perez backs up, has it, and tosses across for the out, and the inning is over. So Philadelphia held aside. 1 hit, 1 left. Through 3 from Philly. 4-2 Phillies.
This fan update is brought to you by Potawatomi.
Fourth inning coming up, and the Brewers trail the Phillies 4-2. Segura, Jeanette, and Perez coming up. You can count on your friends at Badger Mutual Insurance to make sure your auto, home, or business is properly protected. Badger Mutual Insurance, protecting people's dreams for more than 125 years. Franco playing in at third for Segura, who flat out to right his first time. Sean O'Sullivan ready, and the pitch. And his first pitch strike. Monday night here in Philly. This reminds me of a time that I'd been here before on Monday night back at the old Veterans Stadium. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that's down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. It was a Monday night. It was a doubleheader. Phillies played one here yesterday, an old-fashioned one after the other. But there was a Monday night doubleheader that started at 5 p.m. against the Expos. That was my first game I ever saw here in Philadelphia, the 1-1. Down and in. 2 balls with a strike to Segura. And have you ever been around a guy that just he mouths off a little bit? He's yelling, nothing vulgar, but he's trying to razz the other team. Well, that night I was that guy. Here's the 2-1. Swinging a ground ball to short. Galvis up with it. And he throws it across. Segura hustling all the way, and he's retired 1 away.
I was the guy in front of you.
Well, that explains a lot.
The old bat.
I remember that night because I think there was a rainout the night before. They had a wraparound series, and they had to try to jam in that second game.
Split or back-to-back?
Back-to-back. Yeah. And so 5 o'clock on a Monday, there's no one here yet, you know. And so I'm yelling at the top of my lungs, and Jeff Blum, was the third baseman for Montreal that day.
Sure.
And I let him have it because he made an error. Down low, ball 1. I've since met Jeff Blum and told him the story. Nice guy.
I was going to say, I hope he didn't hang around the bus when it departed.
But yeah, it was so funny because I thought I could affect the game because there was no fans. So 1-0 is swinging a pop-up into left, and Ashe is there. There's 2 gone, and now Hernan Perez is coming up because he made a second error in that first inning after I started razzing him, and I thought,
that's the key.
Well, maybe I'm doing that.
That's the key.
Didn't have anything to do with that bumpy artificial turf that was not being repaired.
Yeah, I've been to that place many, many times. You're right about that.
Ball hit a seam. It wasn't anything I did. But I was, if you were there that night, I apologize. Here's the pitch, and Perez takes a strike.
Tell you, all those ballparks with that artificial turf, the worst I ever saw was in Puerto Rico when Montreal was playing their games in Puerto Rico. Oh, my gosh. Oh, was it bad.
0-1 lined into center, and Perez stays hot. Another hit. 8-game hitting streak for Hernan Perez. A 2-out single brings up Jimmy Nelson.
That was the worst field I think I've ever been on. Ever. It was artificial surface. And the carpet, Joe, had waves in it. You know, there was sand underneath it, but it was nothing that was really stationary. And from being rode on and vacuumed and everything for all the years that they had that place in winter baseball, it was really tough to play on that stuff.
Now the set and the pitch to Nelson, and he takes a strike. A lot of bad hops.
A lot of bad hops. A lot of missteps. You know, because you'd slip and slide on that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And, it was kind of tough. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Expos, those final couple of years, played some home games in San Juan.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The pitch. That's outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, and that was a big winter league park, too. It still is, but it was going way back. I mean, I played at that place, but not in the condition that it was now when I was back there as a winter ball player. It was regular grass. Everything was natural.
Here's the set and the 1-1. Yeah, there's a strike, 1-2. That must have been tough. I mean, because when you were playing, what was it? The Astrodome was the only place that had turf, right?
Yes.
At that time?
Exactly.
And then in the 70s and 80s, it seemed like half the ballparks had turf.
Yeah,
even
White
outdoor
Sox,
parks.
Kansas City, St. Louis.
1-2. And it's in the dirt. No swing, 2-2.
The old Busch Stadium in St. Louis had turf. Very hot. Unbelievably hot. Kansas City, very hot to play on that stuff. The White Sox had it on the infield. And, you know, those scorching days in the summer, boy, that stuff gets hot. Cincinnati.
I remember seeing a thermometer one time on a game in St. Louis, watching the game on TV. Here's the 2-2, swinging a line of foul. And they had it somewhere in 130 degrees or maybe more than that. I
saw it at 125. That was my top. But the other place...
Maybe it was 120. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Pittsburgh's another place that had the artificial turf.
Yeah. Phillies,
Philadelphia
Pirates, Reds, Cardinals, Royals.
It was the thing to do at that time. It saved the rainouts, and it saved a lot of ground screw money, too.
2-2. strike 3 call, and Nelson caught looking to end the inning. If you had a ground screw, I guess they wouldn't need to do much.
Didn't have to do very much. It was great drainage systems on that stuff, but it was unbearably hot sometimes to play on that.
I'm glad we've got grass back in baseball. More fun to see that. Bottom of the 4th coming up. It's still 4-2 Phillies. Meet Tom. Fourth inning coming up from Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. Glad you're with us on this Monday night. 4-2 Phillies. It's Galvis, O'Sullivan, and Revere. 8-9-1 coming up against Jimmy Nelson. Galvis drew a walk, came around to score back in the 2nd inning. Phillies with an extra base hit in each inning against Nelson. Here's the pitch. And it's inside for ball 1. Perez in a step ahead of the bag at 3rd. Lind will now back up at 1st. For Galvis, the lefty batter. Here's the 1-0. A swing and a foul back over the netting. 1 ball and 1 strike. Phillies have been swinging the bat a little bit better lately. They have not had much of a chance to say that, but they've been having some big outbursts. Here's the 1-1. Swinging a foul back. 1-2. Phillies with 8 runs or more in 4 of their last 7 games. So you figure they feel confident at the plate. They'd only scored that much in a game once the whole season prior to this last week. Nelson ahead of Galvis. 1-2 in the pitch. Swinging a ball roped into right, but Braun is there, and he retires it. Galvis lines out to right, and here is Sean O'Sullivan, who ripped a double back in the 2nd inning. You know, a lot of times you hear the pitcher get a hit, and you kind of sink your head, oh man, the pitcher got a hit. But O'Sullivan, back when he played for the Tucson Padres at that time, back in AAA ball 2 years ago. Here's the pitch. Takes down an in ball 1. He was used as a pinch hitter quite a bit. In fact, he hit .387. And he hit a grand slam on 1 April in Fresno. That's inside. 2 balls and no strikes to the bearded right-handed batter, Sean O'Sullivan. So he is he can swing the bat, as it were. Now the 2-0, swing and a miss. Nelson threw him a fastball that time. 2-1. O'Sullivan grew up in San Diego, went to San Diego State. Here's the 2-1. And a swing and a foul back. 2-2. He was recruited by the coach of the Aztecs at that time, the late Tony Gwynn. And when Tony Gwynn came to his house to try to recruit him, he still had a Tony Gwynn poster on his bedroom wall. He was a huge Tony Gwynn fan, and so that was an easy recruit job. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out on a slider down and away. And O'Sullivan is the 3rd strikeout victim for Jimmy Nelson tonight. 2 up and 2 down here in the 4th. And back to the top of the order for Ben Revere. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation and Schneider reminding you work zone crashes are preventable if you slow down, pay attention, and don't tailgate. Help us achieve 0 deaths on Wisconsin roads. 0 in Wisconsin, a vision we can all live with. Revere has doubled and got an RBI on a 1-5-3 put out in the 2nd. Hit off of Nelson's shin. The pitch and a strike over. 4-2 Phillies. Philadelphia batting in the 4th. Another set, the 0-1. Swinging a ground ball to second base. 2 hops for Jeanette. And a flip on to first for the out. And Jimmy Nelson has his first 1-2-3 inning. Fifth coming up from Philly, 4-2 Phillies.
Here in Wisconsin, we love our Milwaukee.
From Philly, Brewers trail it 4-2. Back with you to tell you about tonight's action. Here's you.
All right, Joe, thank you very much. Brewers are on here in the fifth inning. Top of the order, Gerardo Parra, to be followed by Jonathan Lucroy and then Ryan Braun against Sean O'Sullivan. And the right-hander. The sign. And here's his opening pitch in the fifth inning. Gerardo Parra bangs to right center in the gap. Extra bases for him. All the way to the wall. Run down by Revere. He'll pull in at second base and hold there with a leadoff double. All right. Brewers trying to come back here, down by a pair at 4-2. Gerardo Parra with another $50 double, courtesy of Wes Ben, the Silver Lining. Top of the order, Lucroy now, followed by Braun. Down by a pair. O'Sullivan trying to win for only the second time this year against 5 losses. ERA of over 5. Runner at second base. And the right-hander ready to work. Here it is. And Lucroy bounces right side. Nicely done there. Hernandez has that. Lucroy is going to be retired, but on the play, Parra winds up at third, and Ryan Braun is coming up with a strikeout and a single to right field. Chance to pull to within 1 here with a long fly ball, or better yet, a base hit. Braun's average now at .261 with 15 home runs, 49 driven in. Infield for Philadelphia is going to play back. Philadelphia outfield, one of the few that plays Braun more as a pull hitter. Down low and outside with a breaking ball. It's 1-0 from Sean O'Sullivan. Gap for Braun here is in right center. That's not the way they usually played. Shading more into that gap in right center. Dominic Brown about straight away in right field. 1 ball and no strikes on Ryan. O'Sullivan deals again, and he had a rip and fouled it back. That was a slider that hung out there, and he had a cut. 1 ball and 1 strike on him. Give me that one back. He doesn't miss too many of them. Not that they're all base hits, but he's on them. 2-7-1 for the Crew. 4-6-0 for Philadelphia tonight. O'Sullivan ready again, and here he comes. Inside the ball. He shot the corner and missed. Trying to get in tight on Braun. Flames straight away on the infield, too. 2 balls on a strike. First of 4 against Philadelphia. Braun waiting, and O'Sullivan sets. Too low with a spinner. 3 balls and a strike now. Limited schedule tonight in the National League. A little interleague play going on in Cincinnati where the Reds are beating up on Minnesota. It's 8-0 in the 4th inning, with Mike Leake working for the Reds. 3 balls on a strike. And the pitch. Braun lines one to right. Down the right field line, he'll turn, and he's going to try for 2. The throw by Dominic Brown. It is late, and Braun's got a double. Ryan Braun with a line drive to the right field corner. Dominic Brown got to it. His throw late for Braun. It's another RBI for him. That for Braun is number 50 on the year, and Adam Lind is coming up. Baseball tonight being brought to you in part by Usinger's. Summertime and baseball and Usinger's. Sounds good, doesn't it? Sounds right. You bet. Grill full of Usinger's sausage. A game on the radio. Or a tailgate party prior to a game at Miller Park. You bet. Made right in Milwaukee with choice meats and imported spices. They do it well and they do it right at Usinger's. America's finest sausage. Now Adam Lind. That one is too low. It's 4-3 now, and Adam Lind has a chance to tie the game. Lind's had a good night. Driven in 2. Run scoring double back in the first. Sac fly, driving in a run in the third. Rupp out to talk things over with O'Sullivan. Nothing doing in the Phillies bullpen just yet. 4-3 Philadelphia in the 5th inning. Carlos Gomez is due next. O'Sullivan taking a long time here. Now finally set to work. A check of Ryan Braun. Freddie Galvis trying to sneak in behind him. Nothing doing there. 1 ball and no strikes. Next offering off the outside corner out. It's 2-0. Lind with 41 ribbies now. Rupp, the sign. Here it is. That one is on the outside corner on Adam. You know, when you watch Lind bat, and especially on a pitch like that, it's not a ball that he can't handle. He handles it very well to the opposite field, I should say. But you know, when you're sitting in front, 2-0, you're looking for something to really rip, pull. So he took that one. 2-1 delivery. That's high and away, and it's 3-1. All right, here's what you can get after. Something you can pull. See if they go breaking ball here on Adam. Gomez next. Carlos is 0 for 2 tonight. Brewers down by 1. They've come from behind. They led briefly. Phillies got 2 in the first to make it a 2-1 game. 2 more in the second. Now the pitch. That drops low, and it's a base on balls for Adam Lind. 2 are on, and Carlos Gomez is going to be the batter. Base hit could tie it. Cameron Rupp out to set a sign for the infield. I don't know what signs you put on in a case like this. Everybody's got to be looking for a double play ball. Nothing else to do. Get it out. One down, 2 on. And Gomez waits. And the pitch to Carlos. Check swing. I think he went around. He did. I was watching some game highlights on the network earlier tonight, Joe, and strangely, I mean, they showed a lot of great plays and, you know, the catches, balls that were hit, and long home runs and everything else. A couple of the features were Gomez swinging and missing and coming from under his helmet. Swinging a fly ball, hit to medium left center, playable. Ryan Braun is going to tag and go to third. Adam Lind holds at first. Gomez retired. And here comes Gene Segura. But, yeah, following, a couple of real highlight plays, catches, and then there were some long home runs hit. they showed Carlos swinging and coming out from under his helmet, which he does frequently.
Seems to delight those in attendance when they see that.
I guess. I go for a tighter helmet. Huh?
Well, the guys in the dugout the other day tried to fashion a chin strap for him.
I saw that. All of the Wizard of Oz. All right, Gene Segura trying to tie it with a 2-out base hit. Swings and fouls on a play, and it's 0-1 on him. Yeah, hitting coaches are a nightmare for Gomez. He's got his own style. He's going to be that way all the time. He was that way before the Brewers got him, and he'll be that way. That's his style of play. A little rambunctious from time to time. Swings hard, hopes to hit it a mile every time. Segura sends one to right. It is going to bounce on the warning track. And it's 2 strikes on Gene Segura.
It's funny how Torrey Hunter, the right fielder of the Twins, was also teasing Gomez a little bit.
I saw that. They both played center field yesterday. Or Torrey played right. And Gomez hit a long ball, or Torrey Hunter did. And Gomez made a catch on him. That's what it was, I think. Yeah.
And then he pretended to fall down.
Yeah.
And his helmet, his hat popped off.
2-strike offering. Segura checked his swing, and on to second goes Adam Lind. Cameron Rupp knocked that one down. It was in the dirt. And Adam Lind moves to second. Braun held at third on a wild pitch. Well, a base hit here could give the Brewers the lead. Yeah, Torrey Hunter was, he and Gomez were jawing that whole series during batting practice and during the game, too. Ball 1 and strike 2. Not jawing tonight in Cincinnati. And the pitch. Segura, check swing, held. Mike DeMuro, first base umpire, made that call. Ball 2 and strike 2. Talking about the Reds, the Brewers' next stop following this 4-game series in Philadelphia. Reds are 16.5 behind front-running St. Louis. Segura waiting, and the pitch by O'Sullivan, swing and a miss. He struck him out, and the inning is over. Well, they got one. Complete. It's 4-3 Philadelphia.
Smoked salmon, a foot-long cod sandwich.
To you in part by Smith & Ford's hard cider. Cider that's made strong in the fine tradition of making things strong. Smith & Ford's hard cider, built from apples, built to refresh, made strong. Well, it's a 1-run deficit now for Jimmy Nelson and the crew. Cesar Hernandez leading off, and he takes a breaking ball a little bit low, but a check swing, and he went around. Trip Gibson made that call from third base. Mark Carlson calling the balls and strikes tonight. Mike DeMuro over at first. Adam Hamari out at second base. Here's the windup by Jimmy Nelson, dropping a bender down low and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dodgers are out in Arizona tonight. Diamondbacks trailing by 6. Not all that bad. Swinging a 1-hopper. Hit to Segura. He picks it clean and throws him out by a half a step. That Diamondbacks got off to such a rough start, but not all that bad now. Giants trail the Dodgers by a game. Arizona 6. San Diego 6.5, and then Colorado. Mikael Franco is the batter. Jimmy Nelson deals to Franco, and he dropped it down low. 1 ball and no strikes. Texas playing in Baltimore tonight, leading the Orioles 2-0. Here is the 1-0 delivery, and it's hit up along third, but foul. Mitch Moreland has just homered. Carlos Corporan with his third. Mitch Moreland again, number 12 tonight. That's Wandy Rodriguez pitching for Texas. Here's the pitch. Bouncer hit to short. Segura has that one and throws him out. 2 up, 2 down. Here comes Ryan Howard. Boston playing in Toronto. Play Buckles against R.A. Dickey. Red Sox lead that one 2-0. Cleveland 2, Tampa Bay 0 down in Florida. That one in the 4th inning. Kansas City playing in Houston. How about Houston? Leading the West. Who would have predicted that, huh? Kansas City, not a surprise there. Leading the Central. But the Astros getting things back together again. Here is the pitch. Big swing, bouncer, 2-hopper. And an easy play for Hernan Perez, who's playing way on the right side. Scored 5-3, but he was standing right next to Scooter Gennett. 6th inning is coming up. It's 4-3 Philadelphia.
Mills Fleet Farm. Wisconsin's radio station, 620 WTMJ.
2-2 on Scooter Gennett, leading off here in the 6th. Now the windup by O'Sullivan on the pitch. Gennett fouls again, stayed alive on a breaking ball. 6th inning is the Woodman's Food Market's home run inning. Our contestant today, Ari Nussbaumer from Appleton, $400 in the jackpot. That's for a Brewers home run. Each additional home run worth another $100. Visit any Woodman's store to enter. Here comes the next offering, and Gennett fouls again. Service and savings, that's Woodman's. Two on Gennett. Perez next, and then Jimmy Nelson's spot would be up. O'Sullivan is ready, and here he comes again, and Gennett lines a base hit to right. Scooter Gennett, 2 out of 3 tonight. Here comes Hernan Perez. Continued his fine hitting in the 4th inning with a base hit to center. One on with nobody out. Brewers tonight playing in game number 78 on the year. Trying to win number 30. Quick throw to first. Gennett is back in time. Perez now hitting .341. Without a home run, he's driven in a pair, and another throw to first by O'Sullivan. Phillies bullpen is quiet. All right, new sign for O'Sullivan. Gennett, pretty good lead at first, held by Howard. And now time called by Perez. Sean O'Sullivan trying to get through the sixth. Rupp, new sign. Set to work again, the pitch. Good on the outside corner, and it's 0-1. Eddie Cedar sending signs from third. Perez back in there. Mike Guerrero working at first. Outfield shading Perez to hit to right. He shows bunt and fouled it behind home plate. 2 strikes on him. Jimmy Nelson is in the on-deck circle. But Neil Kotz continues to throw. 2 strikes and nothing on Perez. Back in there and all set to go. Rupp, a new sign. Jeanette, pretty good lead. O'Sullivan throws over there and drives him back. Still 0-2. All right, running again. And the pitch. Perez lines it to deep right, and this one's going to get over the head. Ashe couldn't catch up to that one. What a rocket that was by Perez. He almost hit one out of here. Just missed about 2 feet below the railing out there, hit the padded area and bounced back to Ashe. And Perez with a long single. Jeanette winds up at third. There's nobody out, and there is still nothing doing in the Phillies bullpen. And we get a pitch batter now. This is Aramis Ramirez batting for Jimmy Nelson and Bob McClure. Former Brewer left-hander and the Phillies pitching coach is heading out there to talk things over. There's still nothing doing, though, in the bullpen for Philadelphia. While McClure chats with O'Sullivan, 10 for identification. This is the Brewers Radio Network.
The home of the Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. We are Wisconsin's radio station. WTMJ and WTMJ HD, Milwaukee.
Jimmy Nelson is done for this evening. He allows 4 runs on 6 hits. All right, and here is Aramis Ramirez now as a pinch hitter. Long time between pitches. O'Sullivan. Ramirez 1 out of 3 as a pinch hitter. Here it is. Rami drives it to the gap in right center. This could score a pair. All the way to the wall. Jeanette is in. Perez around third. He'll score on a pinch hit double by Ramirez. And the Brewers have the lead. That didn't take very long. First pitch from O'Sullivan. And he whacked it to the wall in deep right center. Brewers lead it now 5-4. Ramirez picks up a couple of big ribbies. And Jimmy Nelson now with a chance to win this game if the bullpen can hold. Still nobody out. How about a few more add-ons here? Badger Insurance runs. Badger Mutual Insurance. Gerardo Parra is the batter. He's 1 out of 3 tonight. Protecting people's dreams for over 125 years. Badger Mutual. O'Sullivan has given up 5 runs on 11 base hits. And the bullpen for Philadelphia is finally busy. Parra missed a breaking ball, and it's 0-1. Justin DeFreitas is up for Philadelphia. Gerardo Parra batting .291 with 5 home runs. 21 driven in for him. Played every place in the outfield. Craig Counsell is really happy with this guy. And the pitch. Parra swings and misses. 0-2. Craig Counsell talked about Gerardo Parra on his pregame show yesterday. He really is nothing but praise for Gerardo Parra. No matter where he's played, done an outstanding job hitting-wise, and he's one of those guys that is a leader in the clubhouse. He really is. High-energy guy, the pitch. Too low and blocked by Rupp. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And his high energy for his part of the game transmits onto the field. It really does. Good guy to be around. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jonathan Lucroy to follow. 2 runs are in here in the inning. 5-4 Brewers. Ramirez leads out at second. And the pitch. Gerardo hit it foul against the wire. Still 1-2. This game has slowed here with O'Sullivan. Long time between pitches. Now Rupp finally sets the target. Here it is. Parra bouncer to right. Base hit. And Ramirez will be held at third as that throw comes on from Dominic Brown. Another base hit given up by O'Sullivan. Gerardo Parra, 2 out of 4 tonight. Ramirez at third, and here comes Jonathan Lucroy, and DeFreitas is getting ready a little more quickly. Joe and I talked prior to the game tonight, the changes being made here in Philadelphia. Andy McPhail taking over the top spot, and there will be other changes to try and get this Phillies franchise turned around. It's a good franchise. Long history here in Philadelphia. And here comes Pete Mackinnon, and that is going to be all for O'Sullivan. Brewers have him for a couple of runs and 4 straight hits. Here in the inning, we're going to get a double switch from Pete Mackinnon, and we'll be back after this on the Brewers Radio Network. Justin DeFreitas is the new pitcher for Philadelphia. He's a right-hander. Darren Ruff has come on to play at first base, replacing Ryan Howard. And the batter is going to be Jonathan Lucroy with runners at the corners and nobody out. DeFreitas, ERA almost 6. Here's the pitch. Look out, Luke. Almost hit him. High inside fastball. Ball 1. One and nothing on Lucroy. 2 out of 3 tonight. 2 runs scored for Luke. Average up to 224. Nothing to scream and holler about, but it's getting there. Runner goes smash to left. Another base hit. And here comes Ramirez, and the Brewers add one more, and Lucroy is now 3 out of 4, and we're in the 6th. Another RBI for Luke. That's his 13th on the year. Knocked in one. He scored twice tonight, and here comes Ryan Braun. Braun's 2 out of 3. All right, 6-4 Brewers. That's base hit number 13 in the game. Adam Lind waits. He's due next. Nobody out yet. And the pitch. A strike on a breaking ball. It's 0-1. But it's no quick fix here in Philadelphia, Joe. When you look up and down these totals, batting, pitching, earned run average department, it's going to be a while to fix this stuff. And when you see a switch like that one that drops a little bit low, 1 ball and 1 strike, a switch like Mackinnon just made, taking Ryan Howard out of the game. And, you know, here's a guy that's been the Phillies' big man. And, I mean, it tells you that Ryan Howard is not doing all that well when you take him out of a game. And we're in the 6th inning. Batting in the 220s.
Yeah, the Phillies have a couple of heralded prospects in the minors, but no one that's going to make an immediate difference. They're going to need some years to kind of get those guys.
It's going to take a bunch.
Yeah, get those guys here and get that new nucleus.
1-1 pitch. DeFreitas deals. Braun sends a bouncer in the left field. Another base hit. Gerardo Parra is going to hold at third, and a good call there by Eddie Cedar. The bases are loaded, and there is still nobody out. Another base hit. Back to back. Given up by DeFreitas. Parra at third. Lucroy at second. And here comes Adam Lind. He's driven into tonight. Run scoring double back in the first. Sac fly in the fourth. Correction the third. And then he walked in the 5th inning. All right, infield up for Philadelphia. They don't want to give up any more. Adam Lind waiting. DeFreitas deals, and Adam Lind had a cut and foul that one back. Brewers with 6 tonight. You get 5 till midnight tomorrow at all George Webb restaurants. Burgers for $5. One strike on Adam Lind. Lind now at 294, climbing towards that 300 mark. 40 runs batted in for him. The pitch. Low and away, and it's even at a ball and a strike. Chance to knock in a couple of more here. Philadelphia led 4-1 after 2. Brewers got 1 back in the 3rd. 1 more in the 5th, and now here in the 6th. 3 and nobody out. The pitch. That missed low and away. Shot the corner and missed it. It's 2 balls and a strike. DeFreitas appearing in his 36th game tonight. "39 innings of work, 39 base hits." Swinging a bouncer right to the shortstop. Throw back to home. They got him, but on the play at first, Adam Lind is going to be safe. Rupp took that throw from Freddie Galvis in time to get Parra. Bases remain loaded, and Carlos Gomez now, as DeFreitas tries to get out of it with no further damage. Fielder's choice ground ball for Adam Lind. So the infield playing up, works to get it out at home plate. Now they drop back, hoping for a double play ball. Gomez tonight is 0 for 3. DeFreitas. Here he comes. Carlos bounces foul past Eddie Cedar at third. 1 strike to Gomez. $18,423 in the ballpark tonight. Base hit here would be big. Could drive in 2 more. The right-hander ready. Cameron Rupp. The target, here it is. And Carlos fouled again, and DeFreitas in front of him now. 0-2. They've got 3 in, lead by a pair now, after trailing 4-1. New sign, DeFreitas. Says yes. He's running. Here's the pitch to Carlos. Lined sharply off the glove of DeFreitas, right to second. Man, what a break that was. Hernandez caught it on 1 hop. I think it's going to go 1-4-6-3. Galva's coming across the bag, took the toss, and they doubled up Gomez. He got out of it with no further damage, but the Brewers get 3. 5.5 completed. 6-4 Brewers.
WTMJ News Update, I'm Jane Matnair. The WTMJ Storm Team forecast for tonight, showers and storms diminishing, then mostly cloudy and mild with a low of 58. More news and weather after the game.
All right, Neil Kotz is on now to work for the Crew, and Jimmy Nelson's got a chance to win this game. If the bullpen can hang on, it's 6-4 Brewers. A reminder, for each stolen bag by the Crew, Sundix donates $100 to the Mech Fund. When you see the red bag, you know it. First of 4 against Philadelphia. Have another one for you tomorrow. Taylor Youngman against left-hander Cole Hamels, another big contract guy with the Phillies who could be moving on here. That's another guy they've been talking about. 3-2 pitch coming. Here it is. Bouncer hit. Adam Lind, they're going to have to hurry, and Kotz got there in time. Beat Dominic Brown by a step. 3-1 if you go along with us on that one. Here's Cody Ashe, the left fielder. Papelbon. Everybody wondering about Papelbon. You know, the other thing when you talk about trading and places that guys won't go, some of these players have a lot of places they won't go. It's not that they wouldn't, take a trade, but it's got to be the right place. Down low and away, and it's ball 1.
Well, Cole Hamels has said that he's intimated, at least, that he would waive his no-trade clause to some contending teams.
Yeah, I mean, that's the right thing to do. I mean, if you're going to leave here.
Yeah.
There's a ball down low. I want to go someplace where I got a chance to win. And he can win. There's no doubt about that.
He's had a taste of it in his early days with the Phillies.
Yep.
World Series.
2 balls, no strikes. And the pitch. That is in there at the knees. It's 2-1. Cole Hamels is another one of those guys, Joe, that he may have lost a little bit speed-wise, but he's always been a quality pitcher, good breaking stuff, got that big overhand curveball, and he's a guy who can pitch to spots. Big-time pitcher. He's pitched in big games. 3-1 now. He missed low and away.
It'll be interesting if a team will meet the Phillies' asking price, because he's a difference maker.
Yep.
Wherever he goes, that race could change in favor of that club.
Absolutely. He's a starter. And the pitch. Swinging the foul back. The other guy, Papelbon, you know, if you're talking about a guy who was a quality bullpen guy and a closer and everything else, he was. And probably still is if you put him on the right club. But a lot of the problems here are his own due. It was he who started the affinity, if you will. Not so. No, not with these fans. He said some things about Philadelphia fans that didn't set well. And here's the pitch. Swinging a fly ball, foul and out of play. And they don't forget here in Philadelphia. They're rabid baseball fans and a good fan base here. Beautiful ballpark. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Swinging and a liner to right. This is going to drop for a base hit. Drawn on the pickup, and Kobayashi with a 1-out single. Cameron Rupp, the catcher, is coming up now. Rupp tonight has bounced out twice. Neil Kotz is done. Craig Counsell out for a U.S. Cellular call to the bullpen. And we'll be back after this on the Brewers Radio Network. We're in the 6th inning. It's 6-4 Brewers. 3-2 pitch coming. Here it is. Bouncer hit. Adam Lind, they're going to have to hurry, and Kotz got there in time. Beat Dominic Brown by a step. 3-1 if you go along with us on that one. Here's Kobayashi, the left fielder. Papelbon. Everybody wondering about Papelbon. You know, the other thing when you talk about trading and places that guys won't go, some of these players have a lot of places they won't go. It's not that they wouldn't, you know, take a trade, but it's got to be the right place. Down low and away, and it's ball 1.
Well, Cole Hamels has said that he's intimated, at least, that he would waive his no-trade clause to some contending teams.
Yeah, I mean, that's the right thing to do. I mean, if you're going to leave here.
Yeah.
There's a ball down low. I want to go someplace where I got a chance to win. And he can win. There's no doubt about that.
He's had a taste of it in his early days with the Phillies.
Yep.
World Series.
2 balls, no strikes. And the pitch. That is in there at the knees. It's 2-1. Cole Hamels is another one of those guys, Joe, that he may have lost a little bit speed-wise, but he's always been a quality pitcher, good breaking stuff, got that big overhand curveball, and you know he's a guy who can pitch to spots. Big-time pitcher. He's pitched in big games. 3-1 now. He missed low and away.
It'll be interesting if a team will meet the Phillies' asking price because he's a difference maker.
Yep.
Wherever he goes, that race could change in favor of that club.
Absolutely. He's a starter. And the pitch. Swinging the foul back. The other guy, Papelbon, you know, if you're talking about a guy who was a quality bullpen guy and a closer and everything else, he was. And probably still is if you put him on the right club. But a lot of the problems here are his own due. It was he who started the affinity, if you will. Not so. No, not with these fans. He said some things about Philadelphia fans that didn't set well. And here's the pitch. Swinging a fly ball, foul and out of play. And they don't forget here in Philadelphia. They're rabid baseball fans and a good fan base here. Beautiful ballpark. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Swinging and a liner to right. This is going to drop for a base hit. Drawn on the pickup, and Kobayashi with a 1-out single. Cameron Rupp, the catcher, is coming up now. Rupp tonight has bounced out twice. Neil Kotz is done. Craig Counsell out for a U.S. Cellular call to the bullpen. And we'll be back after this on the Brewers Radio Network. We're in the 6th inning. It's 6-4 Brewers.
Ah, yes, the hair.
Blazek is now working for the Crew, and Cameron Rupp, the catcher, will be the first man to face him with 1 on and 1 man out. Brewers have battled from behind here, trailing 4-1 after 2 innings. Now that booing you're hearing in the background is they showed a Brewer fan on their big scoreboard here in Philadelphia. He was tugging on his Brewer shirt, Brewer jersey, and letting everybody know where he's from and who he's for. He's in handcuffs now. No, that's he's sitting upstairs, and we got Brewer fans that follow the club all over the place. All right, Michael Blazek in there now, and Cameron Rupp, who has bounced out twice, is the batter. Blazek all set to work. Here is his first offering. A half swing is going to cost him a strike. Blazek in his 32nd game. He's 4-2 on the year. Carries an ERA of 1.83, 39 plus innings for Michael Blazek. 24 hits, 10 runs, 8 earned. 1 strike delivery. Half swing is going to cost him again, I think. Yep. That call made by Mike DeMuro at first base. 2 strikes on Cameron Rupp. Rupp batting .237 with a home run. The pitch to him, down low, and a good save by Lucroy on that one. Tough pitch from Michael Blazek. That was a slider in the dirt. Went out and got it and picked it clean. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Outfield straight away, infield playing back. How about a double play ground ball and get out of it here? Blazek. A check of Kobayashi. Here he comes, and Rupp took it low, and it's 2-2 now. Ball 2 and strike 2. New sign, Lucroy. See if he can get out of it here. 2-2 pitch, runner goes. Swing and a miss. Throw by Lucroy is going to be late. Or is it? Nope, got him. And we may see a challenge on this one. Looked like he got that foot in there as the tag slapped on the back. Nope, nothing coming from Pete McKinnon. And the inning is over. Strike him out, throw him out. Phillies get nothing on a hit and leave nobody. And at the end of 6 complete, it remains 6-4 Brewers.
The Wisconsin Transportation Builders Association wants you.
Well, they didn't challenge because they were out of them. That must have happened while I was taking my break. I was back at the hotel. 7th is on. Here's Joe.
I just hop in a cab. What? Here's the first pitch from DeFreitas. That's up high for ball one. Well, that answers the long question of what does Bob Uecker do when you're on play-by-play? You know, when they text the booth and we get all these questions? Yeah. I get about 3 of those a night. Now we know. 1-0 is swinging a foul off to the right, 1-1.
I thought I could make it down there and back here before anything happened. Oh, man.
Well, the real answer is that sometimes nature gets the best of us.
Yes.
It's a 3-hour game every night. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And a swing and a fly ball to right. Brown is there. And he'll retire it. 1 away, and Scooter Jeanette is coming up.
Yeah, I mean...
I step out a lot.
Yeah, we travel down to the visitors, I should say the home booth, and we do it, you know, at Miller Park. We go to the visitors booth every once in a while and say hello to the guys, and had our good friend right down the street here, Gary Matthews.
Good to see him today.
Always great to see the Sarge. Yep. He's one of our favorite people all time.
Now, he's not broadcasting anymore, but he still works for the Phillies Community Relations. The pitch and a swing and a foul off to the left. when he was on the air, he would come in our booth because he didn't do all the innings.
He stayed in our booth more than he was in the Phillies booth working. He worked 3 innings. But other than that, he would come into our booth and sit there until his 3 innings and then come back again when he was done. It was kind of a tough scene for us because he used to sit in our booth and put on his makeup. Tough to watch.
Now those TV guys gotta look pretty. Here's the 0-1. Swinging a slow ground ball to second base. And Hernandez throws it on the first. 2 gone.
Oh, you're cruel.
Hey, when I've done television, you've done it too. They make you do it.
Yeah,
you know.
Makeup artists, that's what they're for. They are artists in some cases. Gary's one of our favorites. All time.
He would just set up shop there. I mean, he'd get out like his pencil sharpener and everything. Just start.
Yes. He did all of his stuff in our booth, sitting up next to the engineer spot. And always one of the favorites of our visiting guy in Milwaukee, Phil Roswell. I mean, we've done stuff to Gary that...
Here's the 0-1 to Perez, and he takes away 1-1.
One of the better ones, we got him a lottery ticket, you know, one of those fake lottery tickets. And he asked Phil Rosowitz to open it. You know, he'd split half of it, and Phil wouldn't do it. No, I'm not lucky. So he opened it, and it was worth $10,000, and he told Phil he wasn't giving him anything.
Here's the 1-1, the swing and a miss, 1-2 on Perez.
So he's going around telling everybody about this lottery ticket that he's got, and he won, and how Phil Rosowitz didn't want to take half for opening it. All he had to do was scratch it off. And then when he found out it was a fake, oh, my God, it was terrible. It was really bad.
1-2 from DeFreitas, swing and a miss. Perez chases a slider down and away. Good old Gary Matthews. Inning over, 1-2-3 crew down in order. Let's stretch here on this Monday night in Philly at 6-4 Brewers.
Hey, Jake Dick and John Lonnenkugel.
Of the 7th inning coming up here from Citizens Bank Park. It's 6-4 Brewers. And Jeremy Jeffress on to protect the lead. And for Jeffress, 2-0, a 3.18 ERA on for the 37th time. He has struck out 34 in as many innings, and opponents batting .244 against a 27-year-old right-hander out of South Boston, Virginia, Jeremy Jeffress. The Galvis, Ruff, and Revere here in the 7th for the Phillies. And your Wisconsin Toyota dealers, proud to sponsor the Brewers in the Toyota territory at Miller Park. Find great deals on all your favorite Toyota models. Visit buyatoyota.com. And for the Brewers tonight, trailed this one early. The Phillies jumping out to 2 runs in the first, 2 more in the second. Both off Brewers starter Jimmy Nelson, who went 5 innings tonight. But he settled down and was crisp, retiring the final 7 men he faced. He was lifted for a pinch hitter. That pinch hitter, Aramis Ramirez, on a first pitch, a 2-run double with nobody out. That drove in a pair, and the Brewers had 6 hits to start that 6th inning, where they scored 3 times to take the lead. And Jeffress on the mound to try to make it for good. There's a bit of delay here now. There's the landing point in front of the mound. The pitcher's favorite spot to put their lead foot is being tamped down right now by the Philadelphia grounds crew, smoothing out the surface, tending it to the needs of Jeremy Jeffress. And while we have a delay, let's take a look at our U.S. Cellular text the booth for tonight. We got a few good questions in. How about Tom in Green Bay, who wants to know, why don't pitchers take more batting practice so they can become better hitters? Well, Tom, all the starting pitchers, I know for sure with National League teams like the Brewers, they take batting practice every day except for the day that they pitch. So 4 out of 5 days they're taking batting practice. The difference is that they don't get to appear in games as often. So whereas some of the Brewers' leading hitters right now have 300 plate appearances, most pitchers have fewer than 30 the pitch. And that's down low, ball 1. So they only get about 1/10 as much as the regular hitters. So you're just not going to be as good, not seeing as much live pitching. Freddie Galvis, 0 for 1 tonight. The pitch down low again. And it's 2-0. Galvis has walked and lined out to right. Michael Blazek, who appeared in his first technically save situation, first time he's come on in a close game with the Brewers leading all year, a 2-0. He's in for a strike, 2-1. You got to strike him out, throw him out, double play to end that 6th inning. So 2/3 of an inning, scoreless for Blazek. Cotswin, 1/3 of an inning. Pitching the 6th in relief of Nelson. There's a strike. Fastball in there at 97 from Jeffress. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Darren Ruff, right-handed batting, power hitting first baseman, is on deck. Came in on the double switch. Now to set the pitch. A swing and a ground ball, slap to short. And Segura flips it on to first for the out. 1 away. Now Ruff, batting for the first time. 3 homers, 11 RBIs, sitting at 229. Ruff spelled R-U-F. More questions for you. Why do the Phillies have a patch with SLB on their uniforms? That's from Ellen in Richfield. That is in memoriam of Sarah Sally L. Buck, one of the co-owners, minority owner of the Phillies, who passed away. Here's the pitch, and there's a strike to Ruff. Edward in Ithaca, New York, wants to know, who should I root for? I'm originally from Philly, but I love the Brewers. I'm caught in the middle. 0-1, foul tip. That is 2 strikes. Signed Confused in Constantinople. Remember those old advice columns? But no, Edward, you should root for the Brewers. That's obvious. That's outside 1 and 2. Not only because they're the Brewers, because they're winning. And then you can be with the winning team. I wonder if Ithaca, New York is right in the middle of Philly and Milwaukee. I think it's actually closer to Philly, but you got to root for the Brewers. That one's down low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Maybe I should start up an advice column. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow when you text the booth. Since I'm so qualified to give you advice. Here's the 2-2. Swinging a liner to the gap at right center. This is in for a hit. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Ruff around first. Digging in for second. He's got an easy 1-out double. Darren Ruff Big-time power hitter in the minor leagues. In and out of the Phillies lineup in recent years. Blasts a double. And now the tying run will come up in the person of Ben Revere. One of the least likely to hit a home run in all of baseball. Probably, maybe even the least likely of all regulars. Revere went most of his career without a home run. He didn't hit one until his 5th season, which was last year. He hit one just a few days ago. That one's down low, ball 1. First home run of the year. Who's he hit it off of? Max Scherzer. Of course. Max Scherzer, who was nearly perfect in consecutive starts and perfect through 5 innings against the Phillies in his last start. Pitch is swung on, fouled back. 1 ball, 1 strike to Revere. Doubled back in the first. Drove in a run on a 1-5-3 bounce out. Pitcher to third to first. That was in the second. Bounced out in the fourth. 6-4 Brewers lead. We're in the 7th. 1 out, Ruff at second. Not a very fast runner. To set the pitch. Swinging a chop right in front of home plate. Jeffress fields and throws on to first and gets the out. As Lind had to stray across the bag to make sure he recorded the out. Ruff moves to third, but now there are 2 gone. And Cesar Hernandez will come up. One of the last day and a half, he's got 8 hits. 8 for 11, including the doubleheader yesterday. And a bunt single back in the first. Swinging single in the second. He bounced out in the 5th. Here's the set, the pitch. And there's a strike. 6-4, Brewers on top here in the 7th. Hernandez, light hitter but speedy. Switch hitter stands in left against the righty Jeffress. Here's the 0-1. And fastball strike, 0-2. That's the way to do it. Try to overpower him. Six runs on 14 hits for the Crew, 4 on 8 for the Phillies. Brewers have made an error. Jeffress looks in to gather his sign. He's got it. And now he steps off. This is a point of the game where the Brewers bullpen has been so good late in the games. Brewers coming into tonight 24-0 when they lead after 7 innings. The pitch down and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And has not gotten a lot of fanfare, but between Jeffress, Will Smith, and K-Rod closing, and 8th and 9th inning has been pretty airtight. Here's the 1-2, way high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We see Michael Blazek pitching in a tight game with a lead for the first time this year tonight. He's been very good in low leverage situations. But Craig Counsell wanting to put him in, graduating to an early inning role. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And Hernandez strikes out on a fastball at 97. He overpowered him. And that ends the inning. So a hit and a man left. Stranded at third. 8th inning coming up. 6-4 Brewers. Eighth inning coming up. 6-4 Brewers. And back with you to tell you about it. Here's you.
All right, Joe, thank you very much. And Shane Peterson is on the hit for the Crew, and the opening pitch is a fastball strike on the outside corner. Justin DeFreitas still on for Philadelphia. Got out of a huge jam in the Here it is, and a check swing strike anyway. Got up at a huge jam in the 6th inning. Brewers had 3 in. They had 6 base hits in the inning, and DeFreitas got out of it with no further damage. He gave up a couple of hits, but it ended then. Swinging a drive to the gap in right center. Extra base hit, Shane Peterson. Another pinch base hit for the Crew. He's going to try for, nope, he'll stop at second base. He was heading into second like he was going to try for 3, but he stops at second. And it's a pinch hit double. And another $50 for the MAC Fund, courtesy of West Bend, the Silver Lining. Ramirez had a pinch double back in that 3-run 6th inning. All right, runner at second. Gerardo Parra's in there. And the pitch. Bunting, third base side. It's a good one. Franco the play. Parra retired. On the third goes Peterson. I tell you, Gerardo Parra made sure that Franco was going to field that ball. He squared it up and bunted it sharply to third to bring Franco in to make the play. Nicely done. All right, Will Smith is up for the Crew, and got a left-hander up for Philadelphia. Elvis Araujo. Array for Araujo. The pitch. Swinging a fly ball down the right field line, and going to wind up against the lower railing. Elvis Araujo. One strike on Jonathan Lucroy. Knock him in here. Another add-on. Badger Mutual Insurance run. Make it a 7-4 game. We're in the 8th inning. 15 base hits for the Crew tonight. Infield up for Philadelphia. Lucroy waiting the pitch. Swinging a roller foul. DeFreitas got him to chase a low breaking ball. 0-2 on Lucroy. He's got 3 hits tonight. Average now at .230. Two strikes and nothing on Lucroy. New sign, DeFreitas. He is ready to work, and here it is. Lucroy sends it foul. This one's going to make the seats behind the Phillies dugout, right field side. Still 0-2 on the Brewers catcher. Back in there. 1 out, runner at third. Shane Peterson. Pinch hit double for him, and now DeFreitas backs off. Portions of our broadcast brought to you by Usingers. How about some of that crisp kraut to go along with your favorite sausage? Pretzel, a soft pretzel bun. Here's the pitch. In tight on Lucroy, about thigh high. Doesn't get much better than Usingers, folks. It doesn't get any better at all. The best. 130 plus years of sausage making. All in Milwaukee, too. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Smells good, tastes good, is good. The pitch. Lucroy bangs a base hit to right. He's got his 4th hit tonight. He's 4 out of 5. Picks up another RBI, and the Brewers add on. It's 7-4 now. Solid base hit by Lucroy. DeFreitas left that one upstairs and out over the middle, and he went right with it. Here's Ryan Braun. He's 3 out of 4 tonight. That base hit is number 16 for the Crew. Seven runs on 16 base hits. De Freitas backs off. Araujo is running in the Phillies bullpen. Now the pitch. Braun sends that one to right. Playable for Dominic Brown. And he's got it, and Braun is retired. That's the second out in the inning. Here comes Adam Lind. Couple of ribbies for Adam Lind tonight. And here comes Pete Mackinnon with the left-handed batting Adam Lind coming up. And Adam Lind waits. A check of Lucroy on the pitch. He had a cut and he fouled it, popping away from Rupp. 1 ball, and Adam Lind strikes out swinging, and the inning is over. They're leading Kansas City tonight 6-0 down in Houston.
But they got hot so early, and I think they should have enough to hang around.
I wonder if they can hang up.
Maybe pull it off.
Yeah. Jose Altuve's back hitting again, too. He was in a long slump for a while. Got off to a good start, then slumped, but he's back hitting again. Anyway, the Brewers add one more in the 8th. Phillies coming up, bottom half, 7-4 Brewers. And here is Francisco Rodriguez and Cody Ash. Cody Ashe will lead things off and takes one down low, ball 1. Ashe tonight has a couple of base hits. Double and a single for him. 7-4, Brewers have the lead. Here comes Frankie, and he's in there that time, and it's even now at a ball and a strike. Good fastball at 89. New sign at Lucroy. They play Cody Ashe dead pull. Swing and a miss. Off speed, down low and inside. He went after it. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the left-handed batting Phillies left fielder. Cameron Rupp to follow. And then Freddie Galvis. Now the pitch by Rodriguez, and he dropped that one down low. It's 2-2 now. Post-game show follows our broadcast. Couple of games still going. Only 2 National League contests going tonight. The pitch. Bouncer hit to Adam Lind, and with Frankie covering, that takes care of Cody Ashe. 1 up and 1 down, and Cameron Rupp is coming up. 0 out of 4 for the Phillies catcher. Carlos Ruiz is the other Philadelphia catcher. We like the PA announcer here in Philadelphia. Been here a long time. And he is very emphatic on his pronunciations. And with Carlos Ruiz, he always hangs on that Z at the end. Carlos Ruiz. I like it. Swinging a foul by Rupp, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, you know, you got to have a little panache.
Yes. He's got it. He's been around Philadelphia a long time. One of the best. As is our Rob Edwards. And the pitch. Fouled again by Rupp. 2 quick strikes on him.
Yeah, Rob is so smooth, isn't he?
Oh. One strike. And the pitch. Too low and blocked by Lucroy. 1 ball and 1 strike now. You know, a lot of guys couldn't wait till they got to Wrigley Field, see Ernie Banks and guys like that. Like, I just want to see Pat Piper.
You think about it today with all these giant high-definition scoreboards, music systems, and everything. I mean, Wrigley has always been a throwback.
Yeah.
And he was working well into the 1970s with that megaphone.
Yeah, I know he was. I was there through the early and late 60s, and he was around. See him out there, a little sport coat on, you know, sitting behind, right back where the ball boy used to sit with a bag of baseballs, right? Every once in a while, a ball would come back there and be in play, and Pat would pick it up and put it in the ball bag. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, and this one is over. Frankie strikes out, rough, 2 inning, nothing on a hit, and one left. Final, Brewers 7, Phillies 4. Back with the totals and summaries after this on the Brewers Radio Net. Brewers take game 1.
And for the victorious Brewers, 7 runs on 16 hits, ties the season high. A run and 9 hits. Brewers are 30-48. For Philadelphia, 4 runs on 9 hits, no errors, 5 left. The Phillies are 27-51. No home runs in the game. Jimmy Nelson wins it. He's 5-8. The loss to Sean O'Sullivan. He's 1-6. K-Rod a perfect 16 for 16 and saves. Time of the game, 3 hours, 22 minutes. Before a crowd of 18,423 here in Philadelphia.
And we're looking for our Chevrolet star of the game, Joe.
Why not Jonathan Lucroy? 4 hits tonight, a couple of RBIs for him. A nice night for the Brewers catcher. Jonathan Lucroy, our player of the game.
Brought to you by Chevrolet. Yep, the average is climbing, getting back to where we usually see Luke. He'll get there. Now's the time to get a great deal on Chevy's full lineup of cars and trucks. See your local Chevy dealer, Chevy proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. That is our game report for tonight, folks. We'll be back with you again tomorrow. Marshfield Clinic pregame show, 5:30 Central Time, and then Taylor Youngman against Cole Hamels. Until then, this is Bob Uecker along with Joe Block and Kent Sommerfeld, inviting you to stay tuned for the TravelWisconsin.com postgame show. Joe's got that coming up next. Once again, the final score tonight, Brewers 7, Phillies 4. So long, everybody. You are listening to the Brewers Radio Network.
Here in Wisconsin.